Welcome back to Mostly Monsters. I'm the researcher, and today we're diving into some of the most elite, dangerous, and secretive units within the SCP Foundation. These are the mobile task forces, the operatives sent in when containment fails, when reality begins to fracture, and when the threat is something no ordinary team could ever handle. From Black Ops enforcers who answer only to the highest authority to anomaly-powered units walking the line between weapon and liability. The specialized teams that clean up the aftermath of horrors the world was never meant to see. This is the side of the Foundation they don't want you to know about. But before we begin, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future deep dives into the strange, the terrifying, and the unknown. And don't forget to check out the scpmerchstore.com for all of your SCP gear and materials now. Let's begin. Mobile Task Force Alpha 1, known as the Red Right Hand, represents the absolute authority of the SCP Foundation, reporting directly to the O5 Council. This unit is deployed only in the most critical situations where failure is not an option. These operatives are handpicked for their loyalty, precision, and ability to carry out orders without hesitation. When a high-level anomaly breaches containment or a situation requires total secrecy, Alpha 1 is sent in. In one operation, a secured facility housing an SCP-001 level entity suddenly went silent. No alarms were triggered, no communication was received. When Alpha 1 entered the site, they found no signs of struggle, just an eerie emptiness. As they advanced, they began experiencing auditory hallucinations, voices speaking directly into their minds. The environment itself began to distort, with hallways stretching and doors leading to impossible spaces. Despite this, Alpha 1 continued forward, maintaining formation and discipline. They located the anomaly and successfully recontained it. Though the exact method remains classified, within hours the site was restored, and Alpha 1 disappeared just as quietly as they arrived. No reports were filed, no details were shared. This is the nature of the Red Right Hand, silent, controlled, and utterly effective. Mobile Task Force Alpha 9, Last Hope, operates under one of the Foundation's most controversial doctrines, fighting anomalies with anomalies. Some task force is composed of humanoid SCPs, entities with extraordinary abilities that are deployed in situations where conventional forces would fail. While incredibly powerful, Alpha 9 is inherently unstable, as each member represents a risk as much as an asset. During a mission involving a reality warping anomaly in a small town, Alpha 9 was deployed after all standard containment efforts failed. As they entered the area, the team immediately encountered spatial distortions, gravity shifts, collapsing structures, and disappearing personnel. One member of the team was erased entirely upon entering a distorted zone, leaving no trace behind. Despite this, Alpha 9 continued their mission. Using their anomalous abilities, they were able to stabilize the area long enough to isolate the source of the distortion. Rather than destroying it, they manipulated the anomaly itself, redirecting its effects and ultimately containing it. When the mission concluded, the town was secured, but one operative was permanently lost. Not killed, but removed from existence. The remaining members retained memory of the individual. Despite no official record, Alpha 9 succeeds where others cannot. But every mission pushes the limits of control and raises the questions of how long such a unit can remain stable. Mobile Task Force Alpha 45, known as the Janitors, serves a very different but equally critical role within the Foundation. They are responsible for cleanup, repair, and concealment following major anomalous events. When other task forces neutralize a threat, Alpha 45 ensures that no evidence remains and that reality is restored to a believable state. In one instance, a large-scale anomaly caused an entire city block to collapse, leaving behind distorted structures and survivors suffering from partial reality displacement. By the time Alpha 45 arrived, the anomaly had been contained, but the damage remained extensive. The team moved in with specialized equipment designed to stabilize reality, neutralize hazardous substances, and administer memory-altering compounds to survivors. Some civilians were found in unstable states, flickering in and out of existence. Alpha 45 worked quickly to stabilize those who could be saved and quietly remove those who could not. Meanwhile, other members sealed fractures in space and removed all anomalous residue. Within hours, the entire area was cleared, reconstructed, and replaced with a cover story involving a gas explosion. News reports reflected the version of events, and the public accepted it without question. Alpha 45 ensures that the world remains unaware of the Foundation's work, quietly erasing the aftermath of events that would otherwise cause widespread panic. Mobile Task Force Beta 1, the Cauterizers. Operators as the Foundation's internal defense against infiltration and corruption. Their mission is to identify and eliminate threats within the organization itself, including compromised personnel, anomalous replacements, and information leaks. Beta 1 operates with near total authority and minimal oversight, making them one of the most feared units within the Foundation. In one case, a site director began exhibiting subtle inconsistencies in behavior, minor memory errors, and slight personality shifts that raised suspicion. Beta 1 was deployed without altering the site. After conducting surveillance, they confirmed that the director had been replaced by an anomalous entity capable of mimicking human behavior. The team initiated a covert takedown. Entering the director's office without warning, the entity immediately reacted, revealing its non-human nature and engaging in combat. The confined space led to an intense and chaotic encounter. With the entity adapting rapidly to attacks, one Beta 1 operative was lost during the engagement, but the team ultimately neutralized the threat. The official record stated that the director had been terminated due to internal corruption, with no mention of the entity. Beta 1 ensures the integrity of the Foundation, even if it means eliminating its own personnel without hesitation. Mobile Task Force Beta 7, known as the Maz Hatters, specializes in biological, chemical, and radiological anomalies, particularly those capable of spreading rapidly. Their role is to contain outbreaks and prevent anomalous contagions from reaching a global scale. These missions are among the most dangerous as they involve invisible threats and rapidly evolving conditions. In one major operation, an entire city was quarantined after an anomalous infection began spreading uncontrollably. Victims were transformed into grotesque, semi-living forms, and the infection proved to be airborne and highly adaptive. Beta 7 entered the zone in full protective gear, using advanced detection equipment to assess the spread. Initial containment efforts slowed the infection, but it quickly became clear it had reached a critical stage. Evacuation was deemed impossible, and the risk of global spread was too high. The decision was made to initiate a full containment purge. A specialized agent was deployed, designed to neutralize both the anomaly and any infected hosts. Within hours, all biological activity within the zone ceased. The city was effectively erased, leaving behind no trace of the outbreak. Beta 7 completed their mission, but at a cost that underscores the severity of their role. They are the last line of defense against threats that cannot be seen until it's too late. The SCP Foundation depends on control, secrecy, and the willingness to make impossible decisions. These 5 mobile task forces represent different aspects of that mission. Alpha 1 enforces the will of the O5 Council with absolute precision. Alpha 9 pushes the boundaries of what the Foundation is willing to risk. Alpha 45 ensures that the world never sees the consequences of failure. Beta 1 protects the Foundation from threats within its own ranks. And Beta 7 confronts dangers that spread beyond containment and threaten all of humanity. Each of these units operates in the shadows, carrying out missions that will never be publicly acknowledged. If you've made it this far, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss future content. And don't forget to check out the scpmerchstore.com for all your SCP gear and materials. This has been Mostly Monsters, and I am the researcher. And remember, if you ever see Mobile Task Force deployed in the field, it means something has already gone very, very wrong.